start unit number 7, that is the losses of pre-stress. In last lecture, we have discussed the analysis of pre-stress concrete section, in which we have studied the three methods of analysis, which are stress concept, strength concept, and load balancing concept. Now today we are going to start this new chapter, that is losses of pre-stress. So as all of you know that what is the meaning of a pre-stress. So pre-stress is a force which we are going to apply in a concrete section by using the tendons or by using a high tensile steel, and in that high tensile steel wires we are applying a tensile force which indirectly applies the compressive force over the entire section, so that we can nullify the stresses which are going to develop due to the external load. So that is the main concept or main purpose that we are using in pre-stress concrete sections. Today we are going to start this. So let us discuss the contents, what we are going to discuss in the today's session. That we are going to discuss about what is the loss of pre-stress, the definition of loss of pre-stress or pre-stress loss we are going to discuss. Then classification of losses as per IS 1343, and one numerical we are going to discuss in today's session. So the loss of pre-stress in this concept, we have to understand that as we know that how we are going to apply a pre-stressing force to the tendon, or indirectly you can say how we are going to apply a pre-stressing force to the concrete section. So for that we are using any method that we have studied in first unit, that we may use the pre-tension method or post-tensioning method. So whenever we are going to apply a pre-stressing force to the tendon, there are two stages as discussed earlier. That first is the application stage and second is the transfer stage. So as per this definition, that the initial pre-stress in concrete undergoes a gradual reduction with time from the stage of transfer due to various causes, and this is generally called as the loss of pre-stress. The meaning of it, that as we are going to apply a pre-stressing force in the form of a tensile force with the help of hydraulic jacks, a desired amount of pre-stressing force is applied on the tensile cables, and we are going to anchor these cables with the help of the anchoring devices. Okay. But what happens that whatever tensile force that we have applied or whatever push that we have applied in these cables, that force may get lost in a fraction amount, or small amount of that force may get reduces due to different reasons. Many reasons are there. So that reduction in pre-stressing force is called as a loss of pre-stress. And this is a very important phenomenon, very important concept that we have to discuss and we have to keep in our mind whenever we are going to design any section. Because we are going to calculate the stresses which are going to develop in the concrete section by considering a predefined amount of pre-stressing force. And suppose if that amount of pre-stressing force is not available, in that case, whatever calculations that we have done for achieving no tension conditions, those calculations may become wrong. Or we can say that there, in actual condition, there may be generation of tensile stresses in the concrete which is not feasible. So to avoid that, it is very important to consider the losses, or to find out the amount of losses which are possible due to different reasons. So this is the definition. In very simple words, we can say that it is a reduction of pre-stress due to various reasons, and that reduction of pre-stressing force which we have applied initially is called as a loss of pre-stress. Okay. So let us discuss the specifications given in IS 1343/1980. So this IS code is also available with all of you. But for your reference, I have put a snapshot here so that you can understand the what is the main definition is provided in this code. So as per the clause number 18.5.2, the losses in pre-stress, they are given that, as I told you, that while assessing the stresses in concrete and steel during tensioning operations and later in service, due regard shall be paid to all losses and variation in stress resulting from creep of concrete, shrinkage of concrete, relaxation of steel, the shortening of concrete at transfer, and friction and slip of the anchorage. These are the various possible reasons due to which there may be possibilities of loss of stress. And unless and otherwise determined by actual test, the allowance for these losses shall be made in accordance with the values specified under clause number 18.5.2.1 to clause number 18.5.2.6. So these are the 6 losses prescribed by IS 1343/1980 that we have to consider while designing any pre-stressed concrete sections, so that we can achieve a very good, desirable, and durable pre-stressed concrete sections. This is the specification main clause for loss of pre-stress as per IS 1343. The sub clauses we are going to discuss one by one. So as specified here, we can classify the types of losses in 6 types. So those 6 types already as specified in the clause number 18.5.2, we are going to list out all these types of pre-stress loss. The first type of loss of pre-stress is due to shortening of concrete. Second loss is due to shrinkage of concrete. Third loss is due to pre-stress due to creep of concrete. Fourth is loss of pre-stress due to slip in anchorage. And fifth is loss of pre-stress due to relaxation of steel. And last one, that is loss of pre-stress due to friction. In this loss of pre-stress due to friction, again there are 2 types which are called as length effect, and second is a curvature effect. That we are going to discuss in detail all of these 6 types of losses one by one. But in today's session, we are going to discuss about the loss of pre-stress due to shortening of concrete only. But before starting or before going to discuss in that discussion about loss of pre-stress due to shortening of concrete, let us discuss, let us see that which types of losses we have to consider in case of pre-tensioning systems and in case of post-tensioning systems. That the different types of losses encountered in pre-tensioning and post-tensioning system, because these 2 systems are different. That in pre-tensioning system we are applying a pre-tension to the tendons before casting of concrete, and in case of post-tensioning system we are applying tension to the tendons after casting of concrete. So that is the main difference. So that's why whatever losses that we are going to consider, we should check that whether these losses are happening in post-tensioning, pre-tensioning, or in both systems. So with the help of one table, let us discuss that the losses in case of pre-tensioning and post-tensioning systems. So as per this table, you can see that in point number 1, in this table, they are showing that the types of losses types of losses. In this, they have given that all these different 6 types of losses that we have discussed now, that elastic shortening of concrete, relaxation of steel. This relaxation of steel is also termed as loss of stress due to creep of steel, shrinkage of concrete, creep of concrete, frictional loss, and anchorage slip. So these 6 types of losses are occurring in pre-tensioning system or post-tensioning system that we are discussing. That elastic shortening of concrete is to be considered in pre-tensioning system. That means whenever you are going to analyze the pre-tension system or the member which is to be casted with the help of pre-tensioning system, in such member you have to consider the loss of stress due to elastic shortening. Because what is the main reason of this? That in a pre-tension system, what we are going to do, that we are applying a tensile force to the tendon first, and then we are going to apply the concrete, or we are going to perform the concreting after application of pre-tension in the tensile steel. So due to that whenever we are going to release the tendons, there may be a possibilities of shortening of concrete. So that's why as the concrete shortens, the steel what we have provided within that concrete member, that steel is also going to contract, and as that steel is going to contract, there will be a loss. So that's why it is necessary to discuss the loss of stress due to elastic shortening in case of pretension members. We'll discuss this point one in detail in a short duration. Similarly, in case of post-tensioning members, that again the whether it is to be considered or not, it depends on that how we are going to apply the tensile force to the tendons. That suppose in case of post-tensioning system, no loss due to elastic deformation is to be considered if all the wires are simultaneously tensioned. Already, as we have discussed in unit number 5, that how to apply a pre-tension force in case of post-tensioning systems. There are two methods that we may apply the whatever pre-stressing force to each wire individually, or we may apply the pre-tension force simultaneously on the all wires. So if we apply this force simultaneously on the tendon, then there is no need to consider the loss of stress due to shortening of concrete, because we are applying this total force at the same time on the all wires. That's why there will not be a possibility of shortening of concrete. Because again, the possibility of shortening of concrete is eliminated because we are going to apply this force or tensile force in the tendons after hardening of concrete. But suppose if we are applying this tensile force to the tendons, if individually or successively, then we have to consider the loss. Because what happens that suppose if you have applied a pre-tension force to the one wire, it means that you have stretched one wire and then you have anchored that wire. Now you are going to apply the tensile force or tension or pull force to the second wire, and let us assume that if that whatever force that we have assumed is more than the force what we have assumed we have provided initially in the first wire. So in that case, what happens that there is a difference between forces or tensile force in these two wires. So due to this, again, there may be a possibilities of elastic shortening of steel, and that's why the loss is occurs. So that's why it is necessary to consider the loss if the wires are successively tensioned. But if the wires are simultaneously tensioned, there is no need to consider this loss. Then second point, that is relaxation of steel or relaxation of stress in steel. So this point we have to consider in both cases, that we have to consider this effect in pre-tensioning and as well as in post-tensioning. Then shrinkage of concrete, again we have to consider in both cases, that is in case of pre and post-tension also. Then creep of concrete, again we have to consider in the both cases. Frictional loss, this frictional loss we have to consider in case of post-tension members only. We are not going to consider in pre-tension members, because as I told you earlier that in case of pre-tension members, we are going to apply the tensile force first to the tendons, and we are going to cast the concrete, and then we are going to release the we are going to cut the tendons. And the main concept what we are going to assume here is that there is a perfect bonding between the steel and the concrete. So that's why there will not be any kind of friction in between these two surfaces. So that's why we are not going to consider this loss in case of pre-tension. But in case of post-tension, what we are doing that we are going to provide the rubber hoses or aluminum hoses through which we are going to pass the tendons. So there is always a gap between concrete and steel, and due to that there may be loss of prestige. And again the cables are also in contact with each other, so that's why again if you provide successive tensioning, in that case again there may be loss of prestige force due to cables which are in contact with each other. So that is also that is possible. That's why we have to consider the effect of friction loss in case of post tensioning members. Then last loss is the anchorage slip, loss due to anchorage slip. Now anchorage slip means what? That whatever anchor system that we are going to use, these anchor systems may get slip. May get slip means they may change the position. So again, which is not possible in case of pre-tension member, because we have provided these anchorage systems at their ends with the help of firm abutments, and then we are going to cast the members, and just like what we have discussed in case of our system for a long line method of casting, that these cables are in contact with the concrete. After hardening of that concrete, then only we are going to release these tendons from the abutments simply by cutting the wires. So that's why there is no possibilities of slip of anchorage, but it is possible in case of post tension members. That's why we have to consider this effect in case of post tensioning members. Okay, so this point or this table is very important from the point of view that when to consider the loss and when to not to consider this loss. In case of post tensioning member, almost all losses we have to consider, and in case of pre-tension members, the first four losses we have to consider except frictional loss and slip of anchorage system loss. So these are the types of losses when to be considered in case of pre-tension members or post-tension members. Okay. Now we'll move towards the next point, that is the first loss of prestige that we are going to discuss in this case. Okay, so we are going to discuss now the loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening. So for this, let us we are going to refer the clause number 18.5.2.4 of IS 1343 in 1980. So as per this clause 18.5.2.4, that when the pre-stress is transferred to the concrete member, there is a contraction of concrete member due to pre-stress. That is when we are going to apply a compressive force, or when we are going, means the compressive force is applied through the tendon. So when this compressive force is transferred at the transfer phase, what happens that the concrete member will get contracted. That amount may be very small, but it affects a lot on the pre-stressing force which is applied in the tendon. So this contraction results in corresponding shortening of steel, and which causes a loss of stress or loss of stretch also. Stretch means the amount by which you have stretched that wire. So as this concrete is going to contract with the same amount, that steel is also going to contract. It means that the stretch what you have applied is going to reduce, and it results in the loss of stress what you have applied. Okay. So let us discuss this point with the help of one simple graphics. So let us consider that there is a beam which is provided with a tendon, and this beam that whatever tendons that we are going to provide, these tendons are going to apply a compressive force. This compressive force is applied on these tendons. So after application of this compressive force, what happens that the concrete section what we have provided initially, which is having an initial length L, that concrete section will get contracted by a short amount. Let us consider that this concrete section is shortened by some distance, and that reduced length of beam is L dash. As this concrete section is reduced and the reduced length is L dash, which is less than L, what happens that simultaneously this whatever tendon that you have provided, that tendon is also going to short, or that tendon is also going to contract. So what happens that as we are going to, as this tendon is going to contract by some distance or some amount of distance, that whatever pre-stressing force or whatever tension that you have applied in that member or tendon is also going to change or is also going to reduce. So what it results in loss of stress or pre-stress which we have applied in the tendon. Okay, and that loss or that amount of loss we have to consider while designing the members. So this is a simple concept what we have to consider in case of elastic shortening of concrete. Okay. So for this we have to discuss one small derivation is there. So for our simplicity, let us consider that there is the same beam, same kind of beam of concrete that you have provided. Let us consider that the beam is made up of concrete. The grade of concrete is also known to us. So let us consider that let the intensity of compressive stress in the concrete be Fc. Fc is the intensity of compressive stress, depends on that grade of concrete. Also, that we can, if we know the grade of concrete, then we are able to find out the Young's modulus of concrete, that is EC. Let us consider EC is the Young's modulus of concrete. That Young's modulus of concrete we can calculate with the help of IS 456-2000, that is 5700 under root FCK. By using this relation, you'll be able to calculate the Young's modulus of concrete. Now, we know that there is a relation that suppose what is the Young's modulus of concrete? That is, what is the meaning of Young's modulus? Can anybody tell me? Just if you know that, you may post these values in the chat section. That what is meaning of Young's modulus? You can post it in chat section. Okay, so this Young's modulus is nothing but Young's modulus E E is the ratio of, what is the ratio of stress upon strain. It is the ratio of stress upon strain, sigma by E, or you can say that instead in this case we have used the letter Fc by E. So for our case we have to calculate the modulus of elastic modulus of concrete EC. So the strain in concrete can be calculated by using the relation that this value of EC will be able to calculate by using relation 5700 under root FCK. The stress in concrete is also can be calculated. So if we know these two values, we'll be able to calculate the amount of strain which is going to happen in that concrete. Okay, so that same we have did here, that we have calculated the strain in concrete. So strain in concrete will be equals to EC. EC is equals to Fc upon capital EC. That is strain in concrete divided by modulus of elasticity for the concrete. Okay. Now the cross section of that beam is also known, so that we can calculate the area of that concrete section and the pre-stressing force of what we have applied, that also known to us, initial pre-stressing force P. So that by using this relation, we'll be able to calculate the stress which is going to develop in that concrete, that what amount of pre-stressing force you are going to apply and by knowing the area of that concrete, we'll be able to calculate the actual stress which is going to develop just by using this relation, that stress is equals to force upon area. So that Fc will be equals to P, that is the pre-stressing force, upon A, which is the cross-sectional area of that concrete section. So with the help of this, we'll be able to find out the stress in concrete. Okay, so now we know that the stress in concrete E by A. We know that the strain in concrete Fc by Ec. So just put this value of Fc in this equation. Put the value of Fc in this equation so that we'll be able to get the value of strain in concrete. So the strain in concrete Ec will be equals to P by A into Ac. P by A into Ec, that is pre-stressing force, initial pre-stressing force divided by cross-sectional area into Young's modulus of concrete, that is modulus of velocity for concrete. So these values are known to us, so that we'll be able to calculate the amount of strain which is going to develop in that concrete. Okay. Now after calculating this strain, now we have to the main aim of our derivation is to find out the loss. The loss means that by how much amount that steel is going to shorten, that we have to calculate, so that we'll be able to calculate the loss of stress also. So as I told you that we have to calculate by how much amount that steel is going to compress or the steel is going to contract, that we have to calculate. So as we have calculated this strain means what? Strain is the, you can put this in your chat so that I can mark your attendance. So by using that relation of strain, as the concrete is going to shorten by the same amount, the steel is also going to shorten, so that we can say that the strain in concrete will be equals to strain in steel. Since the steel will also shortens as the concrete, so the loss of strain in steel will be equals to strain in concrete, that will be Ec. So that we can say that the strain in steel Es, let us consider that strain in steel as Es. So strain in steel Es will be equals to strain in concrete Ec, and that will be equals to P by A into Ec. So now we have to calculate the loss of pre-stress. So loss of pre-stress Fs, delta Fs is the loss of pre-stress. Fs means the loss of stress in the steel. We have already calculated loss of we have already calculated the stress in concrete Fc. And with the help of that only we have calculated this, we have arrived to this equation, as you have seen in the last slide. Okay. So now with the help of that relation, we can say that therefore the loss of pre-stress delta Fs will be equals to P by A into Ec into Es, where Es is the Young's modulus for steel, or you can say that modulus of velocity for steel. This value is given in IS 1343 for the different conditions. We'll discuss after in the next class about it. So that we will get that the loss of pre-stress delta Fs will be equals to P by A into Ec by Ec into Es. Okay, so as we know that here the Es is the Young's modulus, and we have one relation. We have one relation that M is equals to, that M is the modular ratio, M is equals to Es upon Ec. M is equals to Es upon Ec. This is the relation what we know. So just this is the value that here Es upon Ec. So that's why we can say that the percentage, not percentage, that the loss of pre-stress will be equals to, just we have to replace this term Es by Ec, this we have to apply here, so that will be equals to M into P by A. M into P by A, and already we have calculated that the P by A is nothing but P by A is equals to Fc, that we have calculated initially. So that's why that the final loss of pre-stress in case of elastic in case of shortening of concrete will be equals to m into fc. So this is the final equation what we have to consider while calculation of losses in the concrete sections. That the loss of pre-stress will be equals to m into fc. So this is the final relation what we have to obtain. So with the help of this we'll be able to find out the loss of pre-stress which is going to develop in the concrete section. Okay. So just this simple relation you have to understand. You have to keep in your mind this relation. You have to remember this equation only, the derivation. But while remembering this equation, you must know that how we have arrived this, how we have arrived to this term m into fc. We are going to use this term frequently while solving the problems, but we must know that how we have calculated these terms. That's why I have shown this derivation to all of you. So just go through it once again, so that you'll be able to clear your ideas. So if you have any query, then you may ask those queries in the comment box. Okay. So now this is the equation only. Now we'll discuss one numerical after. We are going to discuss one last numerical. So let us discuss that numerical first, and then we'll have a discussion over this total session. Okay. So we are going to discuss this numerical number 1, that is in this case pre-tension concrete beam of size 150 mm by 300 mm is pre-stressed by 8 high tensile wires of 7 mm diameter located at 100 mm from the soffit of the beam. 100 mm from the soffit of the beam means from the bottom of beam. If the wires are tension to a stress of 1100 Newton per mm square, calculate the percentage loss of stress due to elastic deformation, assuming the modulus of elasticity for the concrete and steel as 31.5 and 210 kilonewton per mm square. Note that the unit for these both values is kilonewton per mm square. 31.5 kilonewton per mm square and 210 kilonewton per mm square. These are the modulus of elasticities for concrete and steel respectively. So that you have to find out the percentage loss only for the elastic deformation of concrete. Okay. So let us start with the solution. That the initial properties we have to calculate, as in this problem they have given the cross section size of the beam 150 by 300, and also they have given that the 8 high tensile wires of 7 mm diameter they have provided. So that we'll be able to calculate the cross section area of this concrete, and at the same time we'll be able to calculate the cross sectional area of the steel. So that we'll be able to determine the pre-stress. We'll be able to determine the pre-stress. Okay, so that's why here is the area of section, cross-sectional area of section. A is equals to 150 by 300, so which is 45,000 mm square. Then, as I told you, that 8 wires of 7 mm diameter they have provided, so that's why we have to calculate the total cross-sectional area of all wires. So that's why 8 number of wires into area of one wire, pi by 4 into 7 square, you will get the total area of steel as 308 mm square. The pre-stressing force they have already given. That pre-stressing the pre-stressing force is not given. We have to calculate the pre-stressing force. So as we know that the stress in cable they have provided to us, that if the wires are tension to a stress of 1100 Newton per mm square, it means that a stress in wire is given. So that's why you have to apply the relation of stress is equals to force upon area. So by using this relation, we'll be able to calculate the force. They have given the cross-sectional area of wires. They have given the amount of stress which is developed in that wire. So just simply by multiplying this stress in with the area, you'll be able to get the total pre-stressing force. So that's why this pre-stressing force will be equals to 308 into 1100. That comes to 338.8 kilonewtons. So this is the total final pre-stressing force which is applied on that wire in the initial phase. Initial stress which is applied is 338.8 kilonewton. Now again calculate the section properties, that is modulus of moment of inertia of the section I, BD cube by 12, so that comes to 33.7 into 10 raised to 7 mm raised to 4. The modulus of Young's modulus of steel is given, and elastic modulus of concrete is also given in this problem. So that's why I calculate the modular ratio M. So this modular ratio M will be equals to ES upon EC. So that comes to 6.6666 something. So it comes to 6.67. And again in that problem they have given that the tendons are located at 100 mm from socket. That it means that they have given that the beam is having the cross sectional size of 150 by 300. So below neutral axis this depth is 150. And the tendon is located at a distance equals to 100 mm from socket. So this distance is 100. So the eccentricity will be equals to 150 minus 100. So that comes to 50. Okay, so this eccentricity is 150 minus 100 equals to 50 mm. Okay. Now we know that the stress in steel, or stress in concrete will be equals to FC, will be equals to just you have to use the stress concept here, that P by A plus P by A, that total amount of stress which is going to apply, that direct stress due to tendon, and stress due to the eccentricity of the tendon, that we have to calculate. The direct stress is P by A, then eccentricity is equals to PE by Z, you can use PE by I into E. So that FC comes to, the stress in concrete comes to 10.04 Newton per mm square. That's eccentricity is you have to consider for the calculation of final stress. So that value comes to direct stress into PE square by I equals to 10 point, that FC will be equals to 10.04 Newton per mm square. So now we know that stress in concrete, the amount of stress in concrete is known to us. Okay, so now we'll move towards that we have to find out the loss, percentage loss we have to calculate. So for that we have just derived one equation, that the loss of pre-stress due to elastic shortening of concrete will be equals to loss will be equals to M into FC. So the value of M already we have calculated 6.67, and stress in concrete already also we have calculated. So just make a multiplication of these two so that we'll get the final answer, that the stress in loss of stress due to elastic deformation will be equals to M into FC. Okay, so that value comes to 66.97 Newton per mm square. So this is the loss. That initial pre-stress what we have applied is 1100 Newton per mm square, and out of that 66.97 Newton per mm square stress is going to reduce after some time due to the shortening of concrete. So that's why now we have to calculate the percentage loss. So the percentage loss will be equals to that loss of pre-stress divided by original pre-stress or initial pre-stress into 100. You will get the percentage loss. So in this case, that percentage loss will be equals to 6.08. So this is the final answer of our problem, that we have been asked to find out the percentage loss due to elastic deformation of concrete or elastic shortening of concrete. So that comes to 6.08%. Okay. So this is the solution. This kind of problems may be asked in exams, but not individually. They are normally calculated or normally asked. You have been asked to find out the loss of prestige due to elastic deformation and other losses also. That other losses we'll discuss in next session. So for today, we'll stop here. Stay safe at home. Thank you. If you have